This is Grammar Points 5-2, Lesson 34 on apostrophes. Now, apostrophes have a couple of uses. One of the uses is contractions. That's when you take a word such as can not, and you make it shorter by abbreviating it or contracting it into the word can't. So here is an apostrophe here, can't. You also use them for possessive nouns. If you want to say that it is the man's car, you would write man apostrophe s, and that's how you use apostrophe. Apostrophes and negative contractions, here are some examples. It's very similar to what was done in the previous unit. Don't is D-O-N apostrophe T, that's do not. You take out the O, you put an apostrophe, and you get don't. Hasn't is has not. Weren't is were not. Wasn't is was not. Isn't is not. Can't is cannot. And wouldn't is would not. Now, apostrophes in pronoun contractions. This is where you take a pronoun and a verb of being, and put them together. And you can use them in different tenses, and I'm going to explain present tense and future tense as well as a kind of conditional tense. The first one is for I. If you want to say I am, you'll say I'm. For you are, you're. He is, he's. She is, she's. It is, it's. Now this is a little bit of a tricky one because when you get into possessive pronouns later on, it's is the possessive form. Even though we say, if you want to say the boy's toy, you would say apostrophe s. But for it's, you do not put an apostrophe for the possessive because it apostrophe s means it is. The next one for we are, we're. They are, they're. And even if you don't use a lot of contractions in your writing, you really should get into the habit of using contractions in your speaking. It sounds a lot more natural to say she's going to the store than to say she is going to the store, or we're studying as opposed to we are studying. In natural speech, English speakers generally do not speak without using contractions. They always use contracted forms in the spoken language. Here we have pronoun contractions with will, which is a future tense. If I want to say I'm going to do something in the future, I say I will do something, as in I'll clean up my room in the morning. Or you will, meaning you will help me with your homework, with my homework, won't you? And he will, he'll be in my class next year. She will, she'll help me with my homework. It will, it'll rain tomorrow. It sounds a lot more natural to say it'll rain tomorrow than to say it will rain tomorrow. It'll. We will, or we'll. So we'll see about the weather tomorrow. And finally, they will is they'll. They'll meet us at the restaurant. Again, get used to using the contracted form of these words because it sounds a lot more natural when you're speaking. Now we're going to have a pronoun plus a conditional verb, would. And we use the word would if something might happen. In the case of I would, I'd, I might say, I'd go with you if I could. Or, I'd buy that car if I had the money. So there's always a condition to it. If I had the money, I'd buy it. If I'd studied more, I would have gotten a good grade. It's conditional. You've got you would, you'd. He would, he'd. She would, she'd. It would, it'd. It'd be great if it didn't rain tomorrow. So it would be great if there was no rain tomorrow. We use that for the conditional would. It'd. We would, we'd. And they would, they'd. And finally, we have apostrophes in possessive nouns. If the word in the sentence that you're going to make possessive does not have an S at the end, in this case there's a Y at the end, you just put apostrophe and S to make it possessive. However, after nouns that end in an S, like bus, you write bus and then put the apostrophe afterward. But you still pronounce it buses. The bus's tire is flat.